Good afternoon. Hello, Network Bib. What's up, Stefan? That's exciting, man. Got the wraps on order. Nice. Nice. You can't go wrong there, man. It's always good to have stuff like that to look forward to, you know? Yeah. Always good to have things to look forward to. Hello, Syntax Queen. How you doing? Hello, Ivan. How are you? Good to see you, man. Are we doing more than 16 lines this time? Probably not. Probably not. Given that my streams last for about an hour and I spend way too much of it talking, probably not. All right. Let's see. I've been working a little bit on this off stream. Not a ton, but here and there. Steven, you sound tired today. Are you okay? No, I'm good. Yeah. No. I'm not tired either. Just maybe that's just the chill vibes are just turned up a little louder today. I just don't know how 1 meter wrap will feel. I'm sure it'll be okay. Flexible one's nice, very cool. Stefan, if people came here for the code, there wouldn't be anyone watching. That's true. See you, Network Bib. Ivan, pretty awesome anyway, in my opinion. Well, Ivan, that's very kind of you, man. I appreciate you. Hello, Pablo. How are you? Ivan, these streams are cozy as hell. Well, that's good. We're trying to go for like some good, cozy, chill vibes in the streams. So I'm glad some people enjoy it. Pablo, I'm struggling with some code. Well, I'd offer to help, but I might make myself look like an idiot because I won't be able to help. But I feel you. I feel you. if you're struggling to code, or not struggling to code, but struggling with some code, maybe the stream's a perfect chance to like take a break and think about life. All right, we're gonna connect to the gateway. Let's see. So we need to use our lock here. We need to say await lock async. We need to pass the cancellation token. All right, so we'll define our scope there. Then we'll say if string is null or empty, we'll reset it. Actually, I think we should just I don't even think we should. Okay, then we should do WebSocket. We'll do WebSocket create. And then we'll do var URI. Then we will await our WebSocket like that. And then we'll log it. And then we need to, well, we don't need to run that in the background. We just need to say receive async. And at the moment, this is just going to be a private async task. Actually, it's just going to be a task. Private task. Receive messages. Async. Cancellation token. For now, we'll just say return task completed. That. All right, this one right here is kind of interesting. So what I actually want is I actually want to inject. I actually want to move this out of my gateway client. I want this to be. Let's see. I'm gonna make a new. We're gonna call this Discord REST client, and we're gonna call this Discord REST client. Whoops. Let's see, namespace is going to be stevesbot.worker.discord. And then this is going to be an internal. This does not need to implement iDisposable, but this does need to implement Let's see. I missed some. I missed some chat here. I'm trying to figure out the internals of alien signals. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to help. That sounds more complex than what I can help with. Also, it got kind of dark in here, didn't it? Hello, Suhas. How are you? Syntax, what are you building? Yeah, Discord bot. Yep. We're trying to figure out how to build a Discord bot. Logan, school. Hi, just landed my first job. Logan, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. That is wonderful, man. Yeah, also, yeah, tell us the story, Logan. How did that come to be? Logan, when I was younger, I worked with the University of Maryland, so I added that to my resume. Then for the interview, I passed for a full stack software engineer. Interesting. Well, Logan, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Always exciting when you get a job. Hopefully it's exciting. I guess for some people that could be a not exciting thing. Logan the man. Actually, Logan, the full stack software engineer. You should just go around making everybody call you. You should just make everyone call you engineer now. Everyone must address you as Logan the engineer. That's awesome. I'm sure it was a culmination of a lot of hard work. You know what I mean? Lots of work that nobody else saw except yourself, which is just fantastic, man. Just fantastic. Why? Oh, I accidentally hit caps lock. All right, here we go. Let's see, internal class is Discord REST client. It's going to implement the Discord REST client interface. All right, and then I'm going to go copy the original implementation. Let's see, the original implementation looked like this. However, now I don't want to do I think what I want to do is I want to have a private, yep, I'm going to create that class, and then I want a private read-only HTTP client. I want a public Discord REST client. Oh, I also want a logger. Private read-only logger. And I'm going to inject these. Let's see, this should go away. That should go away. Need to create that class. Okay, so I've got some classes to create. I need to write a test for this. Yeah, I've got some work to do here. Oh my gosh, my camera's getting blown out again. This is the problem with my current setup. The sun comes and goes, comes and goes. Hello, Unique UX. How are you? Sorry, I missed you getting here. Macho Man, what are you coding? I'm working on trying to build a Discord bot at the moment. I'm in the very, very early stages. What's up, Bacon? How are you doing? Leica, what are you building? It's a Discord bot. Franklin, any tip coding C# outside Visual Studio? I can't get any autocomplete. Franklin, so Visual Studio Code has great support for C#. If you install the C# dev kit extension, it should be up and running in a matter of minutes in Visual Studio Code. And if you're interested in using NeoVim, here are my configurations. Let's see. At Franklin in Vim. Oh, whoops. I think it's actually NeoVim, I think is the command. Macho Man, I got into game development recently, but I don't just want to code games. I want to learn website development, etc. Okay, Macho Man, then you should go to Free Code Camp, and I'll put that in the chat too. Learn to code. Nightbot will post a link to Free Code Camp. If you're interested in doing web development, Free Code Camp would be a great place to start. Pablo, just need a headlight, yeah. I just need to have a better way to control the ISO on my camera. Oh, Logan's got some book recommendations. Nice. Yeah, book recommendations are always welcomed. And yeah, what Logan said, Franklin. If you're interested in doing C# related stuff in NeoVim, you can check out my configurations. That'd be a good place for you to start. All right, now we got to write some tests. No, now we got to add a couple classes so this thing compiles, and then we got to write some tests. Let's see. So we'll do a new exception type, which will be Discord REST client exception. That'll work. See, then we need a gateway response. I think for now I'm just going to put these objects in the same file here, but I might eventually move them out. Copy that. Let's see, jump to the top, take that away. We're going to put that in my global usings. Go back to the Discord client, and I think that should get us to a place where now things will compile. And then back in my Discord gateway client, yeah, back here, I'm going to inject that. So I'm going to say, yep, Discord client. Go up here. We'll have that guy right there. Then, instead of having this in a private method, we'll make that responsibility of this guy. Now everybody's happy. That's fine, I can make that static. It won't stay static, but just so that. Okay, now I need to write some tests. I should have written the tests first, but I didn't. So let's do Discord REST client test. Namespace Steve's bot .worker .test .unit Discord REST client tests. All right, we're doing good here so far. We're making progress. See, 33 lines changed. We already beat the 16 that We already beat the 16 that who was it? Who said that? Ivan was the one that said we wouldn't get more than 16. Logan, is there a Discord? There is indeed a Discord. Oh, Bacon. Yeah, thanks, Bacon, for getting him that link. Oh, also, I will approve your membership. There you go. You are approved, Logan. Syntax Queen, what is a WebSocket about? So WebSocket, I believe, is a HTTP 2 WebSocket HTTP 2. No, I guess it works over HTTP 1.1 too. But in any event, it's just a WebSocket is a way to basically open up a persistent connection between a client and a server, and it's stateful. So that connection is long-lived, and the server can send information to the client, but then the client can also send information back to the server across that same connection, right? Versus a standard HTTP request is stateless, where the server can send a request, and then the client can send something back, and typically the server isn't going to initiate, right, information to the client. The client is always going to be asking the server, like, hey, give me that data, or hey, give me an update, or yada yada yada. But with a WebSocket, the client can just sit and wait and listen for the server to send it information. So it's a nice thing to use if you need to do anytime you need the client and server to both be sending and receiving information. WebSockets are a good use case for that. But if you don't have a need for that kind of interactivity, there's a lot of overhead you also take on by using WebSockets. There's also something called server sent events, which have become pretty popular lately because that's what a lot of these AI chat apps use, like ChatGPT. And server sent events are interesting because server sent events, you still open up you open up a persistent connection to the server, but the idea is it's more about the server being able to notify the client versus the client being able to notify the server, right? So it's kind of interesting. Franklin, oh, what do you use to show Git status? What do you mean, Franklin? You mean in my NeoVim configs? Is that what you mean? Because I probably honestly couldn't tell you. I'd have to go look at my configurations to see what that's about. Syntax Queen, is it okay to use ChatGPT to break down all your tasks step by step, like the fintech site I'm trying to build, or will that be affecting my problem solving skills? No, I don't think so. I mean, you're probably going to use Google to figure it out, right? So why can't you use an AI to help you? I think the key thing is to make sure that you know what the AI is asking or telling you to do, and not just blindly following whatever the AI spits out. Right? So it's like, oh, the AI said I should do X, Y, Z things, but the AI made up X and Y, and those don't make any sense. So I think it's make sure you're using it more as an aid and not like a definitive guide. Macho Man just dropped a sub. Going to learn how to code, but I might join in later. Peace. God bless. See you, Macho Man. Thanks for hanging out, man. Ivan, hooray. Syntax, how do you know all this just from your head? It's just, I mean, it's just from using it, right? Just like you commit these things to memory, but you only commit them to memory after you have to use them, right? because through using it or building it or using it in something, you're kind of forced to understand what the things are, you know? Fifth Nail. Hey. What's up, Fifth Nail? First time I've seen you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Tantai. So now C#? Yes, man. C#, TypeScript. We do it all over here. Except Python. No, we do Python. That's a joke. We do Python too sometimes, but just not a lot. Chitanra. WebSockets refer to socket programming to communicate with client to server. It has different types, peer-to-peer with handshake protocol according to computer networks. Yeah, I mean, beyond what I can't get into the nitty-gritty of WebSocket implementation. I just know if you want to make a connection between a client and a server, and your requirement dictates that the client needs to be able to communicate to the server, and the server also needs to be able to send information to the client, like initiate, then WebSockets are a good piece of technology you can try to use. But there is overhead with it because it is a stateful connection. Chiton, Fifth Nail. I need to thank you for being the first to introduce me to MCP. Still learning. Hey, that's awesome, man. I'm glad I could help bring MCP into your world. I'm still learning too, so we're together on that. Hello, Clay. How are you? Fifth Nail. From what I've learned, MCP was an Anthropic-led initiative, but OpenAI will be adopting. I haven't seen much on this except a few articles. Do you know when or if this might be happening? I think OpenAI actually, they did adopt it. They added, or at least they added support for it into their agents SDK. Hey, Opie, stop. Stop. Whenever I start streaming, my dog gets anxious and starts licking things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they added MCP support here. But I'm not sure what they meant by adopting it, right? Like, what does that all mean? That I don't know about. It is an Anthropic. Anthropic developed it. So you can go and look at they have a pretty good blog article back in November when they released it that kind of highlights it, and then obviously their documentation site does a good job covering that kind of stuff. But I'm not sure what OpenAI, to what extent OpenAI is going to adopt it, right? Clay, I haven't seen you for a long time. I was in India. Yep, I've been around, Clay, and I haven't seen you either. So but I've been around. Fifth Nail. And do you know where or when I should be looking for updates on this? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure what OpenAI intended by adopting it. Like where they were trying to, like what they were trying to do with it, right? Because basically MCP is just about, I wonder if they meant they were going to adopt it maybe in their desktop app, if they have a desktop app. I'm not sure if they do. I'm not super familiar. I don't use OpenAI as much as I've used Claude and Anthropic. So maybe they just meant like they were going to put the MCP support in their agent SDK, and they were going to allow MCP support in their desktop app. For updates, I would probably follow. It seems like the best place to follow a lot of these AI companies' updates is on their websites. That's probably where I would look. Well, that's awesome, Fifth Nail. I appreciate you hanging out and asking questions, man. Always happy to talk about stuff. Logan, I installed Arch on a Kindle. Should I install Arch on a Fire Stick? Yeah, I guess you can install it on whatever you want, you know? I'm not sure what you're going to do with it on either of those devices, but more power to you, you know? Vikash, why did the coffee file a police report? It got mugged. Good one. Good one. That's our kind of humor here. All right, so let's look at this method here. Figure out what we need to mock. I think we want this one. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna mock the HTTP client is what I'm gonna do, and then I just need to hit each of these cases. So I should check that when the response fails, I just need to make sure it throws an exception. And then if it fails to deserialize the response, or the response is null when it tries to deserialize it, that it throws an exception. Otherwise, it should return a string. So let's do, let's see. Let's go back over here. So we are going to do private read-only, and we are going to use something called mock HTTP. Is it message handler? Yeah, we want mock HTTP message handler. We will also mock the logger, private read-only, mock, just like that. We can set this one equal to new. And then we're going to have a public constructor. If you guys write C#, this package right here, mock HTTP, is like a must-use package. It makes your life so much easier when you're writing tests like this. Let's see, public async task. Let's get gateway URL async should return gateway. Let's see. Let's just say when request fails, it should throw exception. All right, so then what we can do is we can say mock message handler, and then we can say when, and we'll say when we hit the gateway endpoint, we are going to respond with a server error, or just a non-successful, something that's not a successful status code. Then we can say HTTP client, we can do new, although I kind of want to, we're actually going to do this. We're going to do private read-only Discord REST client, like this. And then we'll say, yeah, that's fine. I don't care about what the base address is. Say var, or actually we should say var action equals that. There we go. And so the mock, what the mock handler does is it basically intercepts. It looks for a match along the URL. And so then if I run this, why is this complaining? It's complaining because I need to dispose of the handler. And we'll make this a sealed class so we don't have to worry about inheritance. And now we'll run this and hopefully it'll pass. Corster, why would you use Java? Alright, well, it failed. Why would you use Java for a Discord bot? The JS library is really easy and fast. So the JS library looks awesome. I've said that multiple times actually on stream, that like if you wanted to have a Discord bot up and running today, you should use the Discord JS library. But what I'm more interested in is like learning. And so I kind of took this project on as more of a, I guess, a kata to try to understand and how to implement the actual connection with the gateway API. You know, so that's why. Just because I can, I thought it'd be fun. Because I think a lot of people, like, they'll say like, oh, I know how to build a Discord bot, or I know how to use the Discord API, and it's like, okay, does that mean you used a library, like an existing client, or do you actually know how it all works? Not that I think you need to know, but after seeing this diagram, when I was reading their documentation, I was like, you know what? This actually looks like it'd be kind of a fun challenge to implement. So that's why. Corster. Just for the hell of it. Fifth mail. Quick way I've been using MCP is via Neon. I'm interested. Is that Neon? What's N8N? I'm not sure what that is. I'm interested in what applications might be needed at scale deployment with a cluster of GPU or CPU computers. Are you familiar with these kind of deployments? No, Fifth Nail, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what N8N is. Is that N8N? It's a fair code workflow automation platform. Yeah, I'm not familiar what that is. So yeah, I'm not sure what would be entailed to deploy that. Hello, Butterscotch. How are you? Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, it's not Java, it's C#. but I understand why someone would think it's Java. Fifth nail. N8N is a no-code tool. Oh, interesting. I've never heard of it. So what do people use it for? I'm guessing we're talking about this, right? So it's like a visual no-code workflow builder. Interesting. Yeah, so it like makes it easy to connect different services and things like that, just all with drag and drop. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've never heard of this. And yeah, obviously, if you had a tool like this, you would definitely want to get into the agentic space too, huh? Logan, they are very similar. They are indeed, yeah. I've never written any Java. I've read Java, but I've never written any. But just looking at it, like looking at Java code, I've always thought, that looks a lot like C#. Or maybe I should say C# looks a lot like Java, because I think Java predates C#, doesn't it? All right, let's see what I did wrong here. It looked like the build failed. Let's see. CD stevesbot.net build. Yeah, somebody's angry. Oh, that's because all these that's because I have all these unused fields and I'm treating warnings like errors. So I need to go into my gateway client and I basically need to oh yeah, I should dispose of that. Let's see. Let's comment this out for the moment. GC. GC. Oh, yeah, we can also comment this out. Okay, now it should, I think, build. All right, there we go. Now let's try to run our test that we wrote. Let's see, but found invalid request URI was provided. Oh, we need to set the base URL. Let's see. We'll do yeah, we'll just set it to that. Let's see, it didn't match. Failed to match a mocked request for I think I can do wildcard matches here. I have to go look at the documentation. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that should throw. And then we just need to write the other tests. Let's see. Mock, HTTP, C#. I love this library for testing. Chris Scott. I was only using it testing and getting crap set up. Then I was hooked, thinking I was just going to do my own integration. Then I just ran innate and local and never did my own. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. It looks like a very cool, powerful tool. Like all the different built-in integrations it showed it already had. So yeah, it looks like a very cool tool. That's actually I have a similar idea of building something similar to that. Obviously, much simpler and not as feature rich. Um, but yeah, it seems like a really cool tool. Butterscotch, I need some career related advice. Yeah, go ahead, Butterscotch. I'm happy to give you my thoughts. Definitely may not be the right advice, but I'm happy to offer anything I can. Okay. So I think private const string base URL. Let's see, private string gateway. Yeah. This seems like a little bit more of a resilient or robust way of doing that. There you go. Yeah, mark that static. Richard Attenborough. Okay, Richard Attenborough is getting a hide user on this channel. That dude's gone. Bye. See ya. Yeah, actually, Butterscotch Logan might be even better to help. He just went through a new job. It sounded like he went through interviews and all kinds of stuff, so he might have some good advice to offer you. Oh, the lighting. It's such a struggle. Ivan, what happened? Oh, Richard Attenborough there he was spamming some really weird messages, so we dropped the hammer on him. That's what we did. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, we actually want to actually pass back null. Excuse me. I guess I need a little bit more coffee. Ivan, great job. Yeah. We must defend the chat at all costs. the way the light comes through my window there, it's like perfect to drop the the light on my face there. Noku, what's up, Noku? How are you? You doing well? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Let's see. Butterscotch said, I graduated with my bachelor's degree last year. I tried getting a job, but did not end up landing one. Therefore, I started preparing for doing master's and studied lots of math. Okay. Next couple months, I'll get into college for my master's. Should I invest time into deep diving in AI/ML? Because did invested time in math, or should I continue in web dev? I think Butterscotch, the only person who can answer that question is you. Like, you got to figure out. I guess you've got to figure out like what your ultimate goal is, what you want to accomplish, and what knowledge or experience you need to get to accomplish that. You know what I mean? Like, I think constantly just chasing different accomplishments and different achievements is great, but being able to judge whether it was good or not is purely dependent on whatever your end goal is. Now, if you don't have an end goal, then it doesn't really matter, right? But if you have a goal, then it does matter. It's kind of like in Alice in Wonderland when I think it's when Alice is talking to she's talking to the cat, I think. She's talking to the and you guys might not be familiar with Alice in Wonderland, but there's a scene in that where Alice says, "Would you tell me please which way I ought to go from here?" And the Cheshire Cat says, "That depends a good deal on where you want to get to." And then Alice says, "I don't much care where." And the Cheshire Cat then replies, "Then it doesn't matter which way you go." And that's kind of a good way to look at like the activities in your life and the things you pursue in your life. You know, they all have to be evaluated in the context of whatever your goal is. Ivan, yeah, this C# is getting pretty verbose, but I guess that's just Java curse that C# inherited. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think this is verbose? I feel like this is a very elegant, fluent syntax. I mean, this is not my API, but I feel like that's pretty nice. And then we just got like a little lambda here, a little delegate, little what would we call this? A little action, because it doesn't return anything. I don't know. I feel like this is pretty succinct code. I wouldn't call this verbose at the moment, or at least what's on the screen at the moment. Noku, coffee is essential for proper functioning. It really is. Life is way more enjoyable when you're caffeinated. Let's see. Noku, had my weekly music class, had a practice session with the pianist, which went well. That's awesome. That's very cool to hear. I don't really have any musical ability, so mad respect for anybody who can play an instrument or carry a tune. Suhas, that's a short. Yeah, probably. I need to do a better job of going back through streams and clipping things. But yeah, it looks like Logan kind of agrees what I said. But yeah, I just think whenever I think about that, where that advice came from actually was it came from a strength coach named Dan John, and he talks a lot about this, about like, you know, when people ask like, should I lift weights? Should I do yoga? Should I run a marathon? Should I do 3 sets of 8 or should I do 4 sets of 6? Should I do power cleans or deadlifts? Should I do overhead press or bench press? Like none of those questions have answers unless you have a definitive goal, right? And so to me, programming, technology, right? Technology is so vast, programming is such a big world that like, should you learn C#? Should you learn .NET? Should you learn F#? Should you learn JavaScript? Should you learn C? should you do embedded system development? It's kind of like I don't know what you should do unless you have something you're aiming for, you know? Bro, this is not verbose. Anyone who has dealt with Java knows what true verbose code is. I mean, I probably wrote some very verbose code, so I'm definitely not wanting to pretend like I haven't done that, but Butterscotch, I think that now that I have studied most of the math required for AI, ML stuff, getting deep into it should benefit me, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Butterscotch. I think learning anything will benefit you. Like, acquiring knowledge and skills is never a waste of time, right? But when you start saying, should I do this or should I do that, right? Should I do AI and ML stuff or should I do web development stuff? It's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to work as a web developer? Do you want to work as a machine learning engineer? Do you want to work in data science? Like, what do you want to do, you know? I'm talking more about naming conventions. Oh, yeah, like, particularly like my method names. Yeah, my method names in my test code is always very long because I kind of follow this, like, I like the convention of method name, condition, and then an assertion. That's kind of the way I write all my test methods. Because then it reads nicer when it's printed, right? Like when you're seeing a report printed to the console in like CI, you can kind of see if the test fails, you kind of know what the scenario was, right? Versus like if you write your test methods like this, and I've literally seen people who write their test methods like this, public void test 1. They'll do stuff like this. It's like, I don't know what this test is asserting, right? So yeah, I feel like for test code, very verbose method names are a good thing. I actually caught some flack for that in a short. I had some comments in a short that was like, what the hell's up with these method names? Why are they so long? Yeah, I mean, regardless, Butterscotch, it seems like you're in a good place to be successful, regardless of what you decide to do. All right, public. This is the happy path. Public get gateway URL async when request is successful. It should return gateway URL. Bar expected URL just equals test. Whoops. All right, I got enough time to write this test, and then I have to go back to work, and I need to find some light because it's dark in here again. God dang, today was tough with the light. I tell you what. Let's see. We actually don't want to do this. Nice. That passes. Okay, cool. So the whole point of this, and you may be wondering, like, why did you separate this into a separate logic? Or why did you separate this into another class? The reason I did this is because I know I'm going to have to do other things with the REST API, Discord's REST API. So I want a separate client. And then the other thing it does is now when I test my, when I test my gateway client, and I want to test the connect async method, I can do this and basically mock out the Discord REST client. So it just makes it a little bit easier to control the execution of connect async by having it in a separate class and have it injected in here as an interface. And then it also then allows me to continue to extend the Discord REST client when I need to do other things. Because I'm going to have to use this to like post a message back to my server. So at some point I'm going to get to that point. But for now, it'll just make testing this a little bit easier. All right, how many lines of code do we write here? 70? We chained 70 lines. I guess I shouldn't say we. Let's see, git commit m. Let's see, add REST client to get gateway URL. Push that up. All right. Steven, never forget public static void main string args. That's a good point. But I think in the next release of Java, they're getting rid of that, right? They're going to do something like C#'s done with top level statements. I thought I saw that in a YouTube video. That the next version of Java, you won't have to write public static void main, which I'm sure would make a lot of people happy. Noku, test one. Test whether the number one still performs as expected. Nice. Butterscotch, thanks, man. You gave me some clarity. Of course, dude. I don't know if that was at all helpful, but hopefully maybe it just gave you another way to think about things. All right, guys. I'm going to head back to work and finish off the day, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I know I'm not the most productive developer in the world, so I appreciate you guys watching me struggle through writing some code. All right, guys. Bye, Logan. Bye, Butterscotch. Bye, Noku. Bye, Ivan, if you're still here. See you later, Suhas. And the rest of you, if anybody's still here watching, you're obviously always welcome to join the Discord. I'll put that in the chat one last time. And if I don't see you, I guess in a video or a short today, or in the comments of something like that, or talk to you in the Discord, I hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday. And I will see you probably tomorrow. I'll be live again tomorrow, or should be, unless something goes horribly wrong. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. All right. Bye, guys. Y'all have a good day. Oh, also, there you go. I was way more productive. 208. It just wasn't picking up my new files that I created. So there we go. It was actually a very productive day. All right.